After understanding the market process, now you are expected to understand the various decisions required for an effective communications campaign. Before you create any communications campaign, these are the questions you are expected to ask yourselves. Questions such as, what business are you in? Who are your competitors? What is the fundamental entity that you design your communications campaign for? What is your business goal and what is your marketing goal? I want you to understand that how you define your business will influence your R&D, definition of your competitors, and it also helps you to communicate with your consumers. So let us understand by asking the question, what business are we in? Clear understanding on how we define our core business determines our subsequent communications campaign. At this moment, I want uh, to introduce to you a term called marketing myopia, meaning marketing short sightedness. Theodore Levitt, in his HBR article in the year 1960, has stated that company needs to have an expansive view of marketing that reflects consumers' needs better than any of their existing or potential competitor. 60 years later, even today, his arguments are still proving to be true that many companies take a short sighted approach in defining their business. You may wonder what a short sighted approach in defining a business mean. Let us understand that by considering two simple examples. Assume that you own a hiking boot company. Now, how will you define what your core business is? Will you say you sell hiking boots? No. Actually, you sell something more than just selling a product. You are giving the consumer an outdoor exploration and an experience of adventure. Let us consider a well known corporation, Disney. What is their core business? Is it just limited to movies and theme parks? If it is so, then you must understand that they have marketing myopia. In reality, it is not movies and theme parks they offer. It is all about the fantasies and the excitement they bring through their product or the service. This example will also help you to understand how you must segment, target, and position your product or the service in the market. Once you have understood what business you have actually, now it is time for you to consider or define who your competitors are. Competitors are uh, generally classified into two, that is, direct competitor and indirect competitor. Direct competitors are the one who comes out with same product or service or same benefits and same target audience just like what you have, whereas indirect competitors are the one who comes out with another good or service but for the same need. So hence we consider indirect competitors as a substitute for your product or the service. Once you have understood what your business is and who your competitors are, then you must be asking this particular question: what is the fundamental entity that we design communications campaign for? The choice of your fundamental entity determines all the subsequent decisions you are going to make. So in this case, if you consider Apple, it is an umbrella brand which has a sub brands such as Apple mobile phones or smartwatches. In this particular scenario, if you are given an opportunity to choose between these two, that is, whether you're going to create a communications campaign for the big brand in general or specifically one of the sub brands it has. So let us assume that you are going to create a communications campaign for one of those sub brands. So in this case, if you consider the smart watches which are very latest, its attributes are lesser known to the public, whereas the attributes of iPhones are well known to the consumers. So in this case, if you have to create an IMC for this smartphone, probably no awareness is required because it is well known. While if suppose you are going to create an IMC for this smartwatch, then make sure you design awareness and dissemination campaign where you convey all the information related to this particular product to the consumer. So this is the decision you have to make. Once you have made the decision on what fundamental entity you are going to design your campaign, now you have to understand what exactly your business goal is. Any business goal you take, it should be single minded, but you have an option. Either you can increase your profits or you can increase your revenues by sales volume. In this particular scenario, let us assume that you either have to increase your profit by 5% or you are going to increase your revenue by 2%. In order to achieve this particular objective, you have to cut your cost so that you may achieve the profits by 5%. If suppose you are going to decide that I wanted to generate revenue by 2%, then probably you have to invest in a promotion campaign so that you can reach more new consumers so that you can increase your sales volume. So the point is you have to decide what is your primary objective and what is your secondary objective. You may either have this as your primary objective or this as a primary objective, but you have to make one single decision. Once your objectives are decided, you must be consistent with it throughout your marketing communications campaign, because consistency is the key to have any effective marketing communications campaign. Once you have understood your business goal, now it is time for you to ask yourself what is going to be your marketing goal. Decide whether your intention is to retain your consumers or to gain new ones. This particular decision will help you to tailor make your marketing communications campaign. If suppose your intention is going to gain new consumers, then your communications should be more informative and must educate people about the benefits of your product. If suppose you are going to uh, decide that I want to retain my consumers, then probably your communications should be designed to increase consumer loyalty. So these are the various activities you can perform to either acquire or to retain your consumer. Answers to all these questions will help you as a marketer in defining or designing an effective marketing communications campaign. So this concludes the topic, the important decisions required for making an effective IMC. In the next video, we'll be discussing about how to build a customer-based brand equity.